Communication Studies student and also the General Manager of Clemson Television here in our Student Media Department at Clemson. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today here at the Strom Thurmond Institute. I'd like to thank the Communication Studies Department, the Pierce Center for Professional Communication, the College of Architecture, Arts, and Humanities, as well as the Media Relations Department and the Strom Thurmond Institute for all sponsoring this lecture. Our speaker today has had an extremely lauded career in journalism. He graduated from Texas Tech University and went on to report in the Dallas area until he joined CBS News, based in New York. He became the chief White House correspondent for CBS during the Clinton administration after covering the president's election campaign. Additionally, as one of the first reporters to arrive at Ground Zero after the September 11th attacks, he continued his coverage of the U.S. war on terrorism in Iraq and Afghanistan. However, instead of embedding with U.S. forces in Iraq, as most other journalists have done, he and his crew traveled around the country on their own and documented some of the war's most powerful stories. Since 2004, he's been a member of the CBS 60 Minutes team, interviewing such notable people as Presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush, Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke, as well as Afghan President Hamid Karzai and Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Most recently, in June 2011, he became the anchor and managing editor of the CBS Evening News. Please join me in welcoming Scott Pelley.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much. What a terrific welcome. I appreciate that. And Dean Goodstein, thank you very much for having us here today. Mrs. Goodstein, thank you. Great to be with you. And Eddie Smith, wherever you are, generally everywhere, thank you so much for this kind invitation. It's great to be at Clemson. My son is a student here, and my family has gotten to know Clemson over this last couple of years, and we have been thrilled to be part of the Clemson family. You know, I wonder, did anyone by any chance happen to catch the game yesterday? How about that? Wasn't that sensational? We were there at the game, and hopefully the turnout will be better next time. But coming off that win against Auburn and now Florida State, what an amazing thing. My first experience at Clemson University was about 2 years ago at the Florida State game that year. My son came here to see if we liked this university, and we watched that game, and we beat Florida State that day as well. And my son turned to me and said, "This is the place. This is it." And I said, "Well, son, they're lying." He said, No, this is it." And sure enough, it has been a wonderful experience for all of us. Well, I have been the managing editor of the CBS Evening News for all of about 5 months now. It's been a terrific opportunity to lead an amazing team of men and women who are working all around the world to bring you the news every evening at 6:30. The broadcast has been on the air for 63 years. And so that's an amazing tradition, especially at CBS News. And what I'd like to do today is describe to you a few of the things that we've been covering over those years and talk to you about some of the interviews that I've had an opportunity to do, both for the CBS Evening News and also for 60 Minutes. Tonight, Sunday night at 7 o'clock, we will premiere the 44th season of 60 Minutes. Thank you very much. Created by the brilliant CBS News executive producer Don Hewitt 44 years ago. 1968 was when 60 Minutes went on the air, and it is still today, after all these decades, the #1 news program in America. And I'm really proud to say that our app on the iPad is the #1 paid news app in America, so we must be doing something right after all of these years. Don Hewitt invented the evening news that you're familiar with back in the 50s, and then went on to invent 60 Minutes. And I had an opportunity to work with Don over these years, and it was a great formative experience for me. You know, a lot of people are concerned, of course, and well they should be, about where America stands just at the moment. We are experiencing today the worst recovery from a recession that we've ever had in our history. And we've had unemployment around 9% for 28 months now. The country has never seen that before. So we have been doing a lot of work in Washington about what our leadership among the Democrats and Republicans are doing about all of that. And I had a chance to speak with President Obama and with House Speaker Boehner about the logjam that we have experienced over getting the national debt down so that business can once again have the kind of confidence that's necessary to create jobs in this country. Now, we are in Pickens County. Of all the counties in South Carolina, Pickens was #1 in voting for John McCain. All the counties in South Carolina, this is the John McCain territory right here. 72% of the vote in 2008. Given that, I'm going to start with the President of the United States in deference to the office of the President of the United States. Now, Parker here has my life in his hands. He is the guy with his finger on the space bar of my PowerPoint presentation. And Parker's never seen this PowerPoint presentation. So if there are any errors here, they're all mine, not Parker's. But we'll start with a conversation that I had with the President just a short time ago about the difficulty of getting the Republicans and the Democrats together in order to move the country forward. Parker?
You know, a lot of folks at home see
the
this
speaker.
as a train wreck, and they're angry about it. And I wonder if you understand their feelings.
I do. I talk to people all day, every day. And the business of legislating in a divided government really is never pretty. You know, you've heard the old adage, there's two things you should never watch. Laws being made and sausage being made. And what we've got is we've got divided government here in Washington. We've got big issues confronting us. And we have a very open process and open society. And as a result, we have healthy debates about how to move forward. This has certainly been a long, healthy debate. But it's not pretty.
How did the grand bargain fail?
You know, I did everything I could to try to come to an agreement with the President. And unfortunately, he just kept insisting on new taxes. I made pretty clear throughout the spring that we weren't going to raise the debt limit without serious cuts in spending and changes to the way we spend the American people's money. And secondly, that we weren't going to have any new taxes. I even went to New York, to the New York Economic Club, gave a speech where I said that the cuts have to be larger than the increase in the debt ceiling. And people here in Washington thought I was crazy. But the fact is, when you've got a credit card that's out of control and over its limit, and you're asking the limit to be increased, you've got to do something about the source of the problem. And Washington spends too much money.
So as you know, the Republican stance is, as led by Speaker Boehner from Ohio, that we have to cut our way out of this problem. The government, as he just said, spends way too much money, and the thing to do is to not raise taxes, but to reduce the spending of the federal government. The Democrats, by and large, have a different view.